Good evening, and it's an evening when folks in the Northeast are watching for a new storm about to move in, and it's a possibility of some more snow, unbelievably, in April. I'm Dan Atkinson.
And I'm Mike Seidel. That's right, Dan. One storm moving out, another one moving in. It's April, 2 snowstorms. Well, one is bad enough, but two after this winter. And it was snowing this morning in Boston and through the suburbs. Trying to get into town was not easy. These cars kind of moseying through that heavy, wet snowfall. Fortunately, in April, we have a very high sun angle, and even though you don't see the sun, that radiation gets through the clouds, and the macadam and the asphalt soak up the radiation. The heat helps to melt the snow, but not enough melting at Fenway. It was supposed to be opening day for the Red Sox, taking on the Twins in Boston, but the grounds crew, instead of out there preparing the field for the game, they were out shoveling snow. Can you believe that? Look at Fenway Park. They're not going to be playing screeno there until tomorrow afternoon. They're hoping to get the game in with the Twins on Monday, or Tuesday afternoon, rather. And in western North Carolina, up on the ski slopes, some snow. And Mount Mitchell all getting several inches of snowfall tonight. Slushy, but it's there. And Highway 441 through the Smokies has been closed for the rest of tonight. Remember that. But the interstate, I-26, is still open. What we've got going is a very strong jet stream. It's been nosediving since the latter part of the weekend, right into the eastern U.S. and then coming back up the eastern seaboard. One storm here is moving out. The next little piece of wind energy is swinging on through the middle Atlantic. That, combined with more action coming down the pike, will set off another round of snow in the mid-Atlantic, we think, later tonight, and then all the way into the Northeast. Weather front through Florida, more showers, more clouds, not the best beach weather at Sanibel, over towards the beaches of Dade and Broward County and the Florida Keys. Will it get better? We'll show you coming up in a moment with our forecast. But first, I'll check in on the radar, and again, it has been snowy in the Northeast. Snow now lingering around Bangor and Augusta, all the way up towards Caribou and Holton. This will be ending overnight tonight. You'll get a break in the action, and then more snow will move in from the south and southwest as we get into the latter hours of Tuesday and Tuesday night. Boston, okay tomorrow morning. New York City, the precipitation will arrive during the day. You're getting a break, though, now, and skies are just generally cloudy. It's damp, and it's chilly. Here's our next storm in a series. Low pressure now right over the upstate of South Carolina. Now, this has produced some snow this evening through the mountains of West Virginia, western North Carolina. We've had some heavier snow earlier around Beckley, Bluefield, and Elkins. Now, as this storm moves up the coast, it will rejuvenate itself and continue to strengthen as it gets out over the Gulf Stream and the Atlantic, and then move up into the southern areas of New England, and again throw more moisture back into cold air, and that means you got to get the shovels back out again. Now, the first storm missed Baltimore, Philly, and D.C. with snowfall, but you can see the precipitation now moving up towards that area. This is rain around Richmond over towards the Tidewater around Norfolk and Virginia Beach. But as temperatures cool off tonight with the evaporative cooling effects from the rain falling out of the clouds through the lower levels and the upward vertical motion, you'll see that rain, that cold rain, changing over to snow. And we do expect some problems tomorrow morning on the Capital and Baltimore beltways, likewise as the precipitation moves up the northeast quarter. But where it snows in the daytime in April, it has a real tough time sticking to the roadways. It's the overnight hours we've got to be concerned with, and that's why we've had some road closures in western North Carolina, 441 specifically through the Smokies going over towards Gatlinburg. Precipitation falling as rain east of the mountains, Charlotte over towards the Raleigh-Durham area, then moving up through the Tidewater, eventually some rain around Salisbury and Ocean City. But it's dry for Atlanta and no rain expected there. But there's your snowfall forecast. Another healthy dose, 3 to 4, in some spots 6 inches from the Catskills back through the higher elevations just to the north and west of the Shenandoah Valley. And again, the higher elevations will get more snow, the lower elevations getting less snowfall, as often is the case with snowstorms in the springtime, especially this late in the springtime. Here's our national shot. Storms moving up the eastern seaboard, but in the west, the weather has been tremendous. We're talking about record warmth. With more on the good stuff, here's Dan Atkinson.
Mike, out in the west, there have been these record high temperatures. Nation's weather, that there are swirling clouds circulating around an upper level low pressure area, which is going to combine with that low pressure cell as it moves off the coast of North Carolina tomorrow morning, and that will help to intensify that storm system. And that will mean that as the storm intensifies, it'll pull a lot of moisture from the Atlantic, and that will help to produce the snow, which is forecast for tomorrow in the Northeast. Taking a look at the current map, you can see that in the western half of the country, the high pressure is over the Great Lakes, or not the Great Lakes, but Salt Lake City. This frontal system has been very little making in the way of weather changes. It has touched off some scattered showers in Columbia and Jefferson City, Missouri during the evening, but so far there's not a lot of weather associated with that system in the west. Here's a look now at the current temperatures around the United States. As you see, it's not really very cold yet in the Northeast. It is in the 30s, granted, but it's going to get colder in the days to come. And then by the end of the week, looks like we'll have some milder weather. Out in the west, temperature is well above normal for this time of year. As you'll see, the temperatures during the day have been, in some cases, 20 in West Virginia, right on up through eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, into southeastern New York State. And the temperatures, lows tomorrow morning will be in the teens in the upper Mississippi Valley, 20s on down into the Ohio Valley.
This is a special edition of WeatherScope with the latest on the coast.
Pretty quickly through the middle Atlantic area in the southeast. This will come up the coast and bring more snow into New England, especially tomorrow night. And Wednesday morning's rush hour will be the rough one in Boston, Providence, and down East Maine around Portland and Bangor. Tomorrow will be okay, but tomorrow night and Wednesday looks like the best chance for the heavier snow here. And again, it will be heavy, wet snow, tough to shovel, but again, in the afternoon, this time of the year, it's really hard to get it to stick to the highway. So we're not looking for a lot of problems in the mid-Atlantic tomorrow as the snow comes down. You can see the motion of the clouds, the dip. This is our jet stream dipping down and then coming up the eastern seaboard. That's been the storm track since last weekend, and that will continue to be the track for this one. Then we'll have a change in the weather pattern, as Dan will show you in the forecast coming up. Good news coming down the pike. Right now, the good news is there's a break in the action. One storm is exiting up through the Canadian Maritimes. Still some snow this evening around Portland, Bangor, Caribou, and Holton. That'll be winding down. No real additional accumulation to worry about. Then we worry about storm number 2. Low pressure over the upstate of South Carolina will hit the coast and intensify, and that will mean more snowfall. It's been snowing through West Virginia, Beckley, Elkins, Bluefield, Elkins. Did I say Elkins twice? Oh, what the heck, I said Elkins twice. Down through Lewisburg and in through the higher elevations of western Virginia and western North Carolina, still snowing there. This is because the higher elevations, it's colder. Temperatures are running between 33 and 35 degrees. As you get down the elevation into the Shenandoah Valley and over towards the Washington area, it's warmer. Temperature now around Dulles Airport and National Airport between 40 and 45 degrees, and it's been raining lightly in the D.C. metro area. But eventually the combination of the rain coming down, evaporating and cooling the atmosphere, and vertical motion, air rising, which is also another cooling process, those two processes will bring those temperatures down to the mid-30s, so some heavier wet snow should be falling in this area from D.C. up to Baltimore and Philadelphia for the rush hour on Tuesday morning. It's raining in Richmond, Norfolk, Virginia Beach. This is all rain. Then you find the snows back through West Virginia. We've had some snow and rain mixed around Charleston over the past hour. Rain extends back towards Raleigh along Interstate 95, almost down to Fayetteville. And we see rain showers around Charlotte. And just check the Ob in Asheville. You now have a mixture of rain and snow at the airport, which is south and east of town. A little lower elevation, temperature there at 38 degrees. But the back edge is moving out quickly, so the snows in the mountains of western North Carolina should be ending pretty quickly tonight. Later on tonight for the early morning rush hour, should be in better shape. through Asheville and over towards Gatlinburg. But 441 has been closed for the rest of tonight because of that snow coming down. That's the main east-west thoroughfare through the Smoky Mountains over towards Gatlinburg. There's your snowfall forecast. Looks pretty impressive considering it's April and it's springtime. You'll be shoveling the stuff from the Catskills back through Baltimore and Washington and into the mountainous areas. But again, if you're in the lower elevations in the big cities, not a whole lot of accumulation on the highways, but on the grassy surfaces and car tops, expect snow to come on down. But once we get rid of all this, we have some better news. A lot of warm air. It's sitting in the west right now. It's moving east. But today in the west, another record-setting day. Here are some of those numbers with Dan.
That's right, Mike. Out in the west, Boise, Idaho hit a temperature of 82 to set the record for April 8th, while Great Falls, Montana hit 79, as did Billings, Montana, and Cedar City, Utah. Burns, Oregon, you had a record high of 78. Pendleton, Oregon, 77 degrees. And also Portland, Oregon, and Butte, Montana had highs of 73. 71 was a record for Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Olympia, Washington, while Seattle topped out with 69 for a record, and Alta, Utah. Temperatures low.